The silliest face? Define silly.
Weird, over the top, something that you wouldn't want somebody to see.
Well, why would I do that? I don't know, like, my name is, I don't even know what I go by these days. Andrew Shade. A lot of people know me as Drew Shade. And I am the founder and editorial director of BroadwayBlack.com. I am from Fort Wayne, Indiana, a small town in the Midwest. It is the second largest city in Indiana, next to Indianapolis, but still small town nonetheless. I grew up as a preacher's kid. My dad is a minister at a Kojic church, Church of God in Christ. You know, you can't join in, you gotta be born in. So I was born into the Kojic family, and that's pretty much how I was raised throughout, you know, all throughout high school and growing up even into my early adult years. I was a church kid and I didn't move to New York until I was 25. So I always grew up in the theater, in church, in performing and singing, and so that's pretty much my background. Theater to me changed my life. Growing up in a small town, you know, and getting introduction to theater at a young age, that sort of saved me. It sort of gave me something to hope for, it gave me something to believe in. It allowed me to escape myself when at times I didn't know how to be myself, when I had no choice but to be somebody else. So I know that there are, you know, kids out there, there are adults out there, there are people out there that feel the same way about the theater. And I believe that theater performers are just as, if not more talented than a lot of the, you know, commercial actors and big film actors. And they deserve their just due. They deserve their acknowledgement, especially people of color. We deserve to be recognized. We deserve to have the same type of exposure to our talents that our counterparts do, our white counterparts do. And that's why I chose the theater. I think that that's mainly important because we have, you know, Black Enterprise for the business magazine, we have Ebony for, you know, entertainment and pop culture, and, you know, we have all these other different sources of journalism platforms and press platforms for Black culture, but nothing really specifically centered for Black theater. And it's just time. Broadway Black really started for me at the end of 2011. It was an idea that I had. Was working a good job and ended up losing my job and moved back in with my parents and sort of had some skill set in building websites and things of that nature. So I just sort of started fiddling around and I came up with this idea called Broadway Black. So I bought a domain and just started building a site around it. Had no idea what it would be, had no idea what I wanted it to be, but I just knew that this sounds like something that I would be interested in, something I would do. And once I really started cultivating the idea and sort of started seeing it come into fruition visually, as far as the website's concerned, that's when my mind just started going off in so many different directions, because I knew that this is what I always wanted. This is what I always looked for. So to be able to find all the faces and all the stories and all the different aspects of theater that sort of influenced me as an artist, being able to find that all in one space sort of excited me. And so I started to begin to build this website, and then I ended up getting messages from people about the website saying, I love this idea, I think this is great, and that sort of scared me. So I stopped for about a year. I ended up moving to New York at the end of 2012, thinking I was gonna move here to be an actor. I genuinely thought I was moving here to audition and to, you know, pursue those dreams of being, having my name in lights. And God just said, I have a totally different plan for you. So when I got to New York, God brought up the idea once again, you should be doing Broadway Black. And so I just started doing it and dibbling and dabbling in it again, and just sort of picked up from there. It just sort of had a life of its own. It took off. Community is I think it's a word that's used to describe a group of people that all have the same sort of mission, that are all in the same sort of realm to sort of with the same goal in mind. And to me that means that we're all working together in our own particular fields, our own, you know, part of the community to sort of make the community happen, almost like a small town where you need the corner drugstore and you need the grocery store and you need you know, the barbershop and the saloon. You need those sort of aspects of the town in order to make it run properly. And that's what a community is to me. People that have the passion and the gusto to make the community keep running. So what that means for me is trying to find my place and trying to find where I can best help the community. Right now my community is Broadway, is the marginalized community of Broadway, which are the people of color. So in how I help, I guess my station is I am the saloon. I am the you know, the bar that sort of lets people relax and really talk about the things that are happening in the community and really gets people to connect, and maybe over a drink or maybe over a meal. So that's sort of what my part is in the community, but I also really think that it's vital. It may not be the best station in the city, but it is definitely something that's important to the community. So yeah, I think I described it right. I hope. Shit.